So my name is Victor Cavallo, and I'm a franchisee here in Dunkin' Donuts in Quincy, along with my brother Octavio Cavallo. So we actually started in the business in 1979 when my father got in the business, but we became franchisees in 1994 when he decided to retire. So about 6 years ago, we remodeled the store to kind of bring back some of the original feel with the counter, the stainless steel back wall, the script sign, just kind of take you back to when we started, you know, some of the small elements of it. And it brings back people to a place when they can remember sitting at the counter, whether, you know, when they were little kids and used to come in with their parents on a Sunday or whatever it is. So, and it really stands out as this is the #1 Dunkin' Donuts in the world. So it actually started, as you probably know, they were actually started as a canteen. Mr. Rosenberg was a canteen, used to go to different factories and mostly the shipyard back in that day, and he would sell off the canteen, and that's where he got the idea of coffee on the go, and he wanted a premium coffee. Back in the day, I think he was selling it for 10 cents a cup. And that was outrageous. But what he knew was you give them a premium cup of coffee, people will pay for it. But we've become a brand that I think we relate with the common people, where everyday people, blue collar workers, white collar workers, we can relate to everybody. So I think we've become that iconic brand in the sense of people use us because they know who we are. Since we've been here in 1979, there's definitely a lot of people that we've seen from the day we walked in that today. We even have, you know, probably third generations that we've seen grow up. You know, we've seen people coming in, being single, to getting married, to having kids and having grandkids, you know, and bringing them in here. So it's definitely a generational thing. So we're sitting in the original, right? So it started here. So that's kind of a no-brainer. You kind of understand why it's so so good here, you know, and so known. So it kind of grew from here and really blew up in Massachusetts and New England, you know, Rhode Island and, you know, Connecticut and all that. And then, so the Northeast is really where we're most populated, and then kind of go south on the East Coast. West of the Mississippi hadn't been a focus until in the last 2 years, and I think if you kind of check in the last 2 years, and you've seen it in California, we're starting to pop up west of the Mississippi. So, you know, each franchisee has flexibility as what they want to carry, as long as it's within the Dunkin' guidelines. So we do some baking on site. We literally bake in the oven, so we do bagels, muffins, cookies, Danish. That's done on site. Donuts come in from a CML or a commissary, and they come in every day, and that's how the donuts get here. But anything else that's not donut is baked on site. It's a brand that people can relate to and people use, and people use us at different times for different reasons. So you might get us on the morning drive because that's on your way to work. We might get you on the way home. We might get you at your 3 o'clock break and you need a pick-me-up. On the weekends, it might be on the way to the soccer game, or, you know, so people use us in different ways, and people want the convenience. So whatever's most convenience on that day, on that traffic pattern, or where they're on that route, I think that's why we're able to expand, be in a city or a town with multiple locations, because we're multiple uses for different day parts and different events. The most rewarding part is definitely working with our teams and interacting with our guests. That's always the favorite part. I mean, it's great to sit in an office and do paperwork and crunch numbers and all that, but when you get to interact with people, hear what your team has to say, and really listen to the guests, that's the best part of the day, every day. There isn't a day that we don't see people taking pictures. So I think the team enjoys that because it's a little bit different. You're in a unique situation, and you're a part of history here. So I think they embrace that very well. You know, when I talk to people, I say Dunkin' brands, right? So not just Dunkin' Donuts, but Dunkin' brands. We're selling donuts on one side and ice cream on the other side. You can't say donuts and ice cream without smiling, or taking you back to a place that just, you know, you remember as a kid or last night, you know, whatever, but it takes you back to a place. It's just a fun brand selling fun products. I mean, and so it's kind of hard to not like the brand, because you're selling good stuff and that makes people happy, and so that always makes it better. So when I see a guest leaving with a smile and a cup of coffee in their hand. That's success. When they're leaving and they're happy and they got what they wanted, that's success story every day.